woke and dope marriage, business, marketing couple. Like y'all do it all.
And activism.
Yeah, activism. Like we, and since we linked up with y'all and we did our interview, how the algorithm works. Now we see basically everything you guys post.
Yeah.
And we just had some friends over right now, and I was telling them one of them, just got engaged, and I was like, "You single till you married. I don't care about you engaged and you talking and you shacking. Nah, you single.
Anything can happen in between. Trust me.
Yeah, so." Look, all the stuff that y'all put out is real, is raw. And I think right now with COVID going on and everybody trying to really explore relationships and figure out how you go from being, just alone on your own and quarantine to talking to someone, get married, and then not just get married, but stay married. And that's where we're all at this point.
There's a lot of y'all that's having to move back in with y'all parents.
Oh, yeah.
And that brings a whole nother thing into you so-called dating or courting or whatever the situation is. Because now you got people all in your business.
I told some of these people, your parents gonna forget you there one day and they're gonna walk around the house naked. Watch out, man.
Ma.
Yeah, put some clothes on.
So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. So, Jabril.
Yes?
We have two exciting guests with us today. So proud to have them on the show today. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm hyped. Their energy's got me hyped.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm more than hyped because I know that this is something that's always been requested by our audience. They're like, we want to learn how to make money. We want to learn how to be better kids. But we just want to know how to get married.
Not just get married, but stay married. I think getting married and staying married is where everybody has questions about. So, without any further ado, Muhammad, give me the countdown.
Let's go ahead and kick this thing off, baby. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Asalaamu Alajum, everybody. Like Jabril had mentioned, today we have a phenomenal couple with us today with 30 plus experience years of being married. And today we're going to talk about not only how to get married, but how to stay married, inshallah. We have brother Rufus and Jenny. Asalaamu Alaikum.
Asalaamu Alaikum rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey, my brothers.
Hey.
Hi.
How y'all doing? How is life treating y'all?
Alhamdulillah. We are fair for squares.
Well, I'm trying to eat healthy over here.
Yeah, we are definitely fair.
Me and this quinoa is trying to get along.
Fair for squares. And we always try to tell people, when you get to this age, if you're not mellow, if you still living, your life is full of drama and different things like that, something ain't right.
I'm trying to get like y'all young bucks.
Yeah.
See, y'all trying to show us how we supposed to be eating around here. I be seeing these little young folks eating this stuff. I'm like, where the meat at? Ain't no meat on there. And y'all just trying, y'all showing out, but y'all healthy. Yeah. I see more of y'all healthy than my generation was, right. And my hats is off to y'all, so I'm trying to follow y'all lead.
Right. I'm trying to keep this.
Yeah, we studying up on Dr. Sebi. We trying to eat right, be on alkaline.
Hey, we trying to be right there.
Yeah, so if you could, for our listeners, wherever they are listening, thank you, by the way, could you give us a brief breakdown of who y'all are, what y'all about, and a little bit about your marriage and how you guys have stayed married for so long?
Alhamdulillah.
But it just said brief. You didn't say the long version.
Come on, bro.
He always say, I'm dragging our resume.
Bro said brief.
I'm dragging our resume. Okay, I can't help it.
I think he said that on purpose.
He did.
Allah has really given us a lot. So, and I'm not trying to pinpoint or bullet point every single solitary thing, but I mean, there's been some pretty cool things. That
you done already added something on there already.
Yeah,
that ain't brief.
To us. So, we're Rufus and Jenny Triplett, a husband and wife team. We've been married 30 plus years, guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Inshallah. It will be 31 next month.
Sure they 41?
And I'm looking for something real special.
Feel like it.
I'm looking for something real special next month.
Oh, I got something special.
You know, you got something?
I sure do.
Okay. We gonna see. We gonna see about that. Because I already done threw them subliminal messages, right? Okay, we gonna
I don't know what subliminal is.
Hey, it's a new anniversary gift every year, Rufus, so you must be doing a great job.
See what I'm saying?
We gonna work that out.
Oh, it's coming.
We are
got you.
co-authors of the best-selling book. Oh, I think I got it too. Of the best-selling book. Okay. Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century.
Ooh,
13
get that.
tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. Because when we wrote the book, we were like at 22, 23 years.
Yeah, that don't sound brief to me.
Yeah, and so now, it had to be like 23 because we're going on 31. So 23. So now we're at 30. We're trying to get people at least to 20 because, there's a joke in Islam and Muslim marriages that people get married at Fajr and divorced by Isha.
Oh, wow.
We trying to get y'all to hold on, to at least to see Ramadan come around.
At least Ramadan.
Right? She said you can at least make it to Fajr.
Yeah, at least that long. And
Wow.
we also have a podcast, Surviving Marriage Podcast. We do marriage talks and workshops, and we travel across the country and around the world. And we are here.
Oh, I'm worldwide now.
We worldwide.
Worldwide now.
We worldwide.
Hey.
We are Uncle Rufus and Aunt Jenny to you millennials, okay, trying to help y'all out.
Who over there in my family?
Yeah, we
Do
got
I
them
know?
too. We got
Yeah, once you salam me, now we family.
Nephews.
Yeah.
Once you salam me, we family.
So right now, when it comes to, alhamdulillah, you guys have been married for 30 years, and you mentioned getting to that 20-year mark is such an exceptional thing to do. What is the number one thing that you hear from young people when it comes to marriage? Is it, I'm not ready, I haven't found the right person, I don't have enough money? If you had to pinpoint one thing that you hear from the millennials, like you mentioned,
I don't have no game.
what would it have to be?
I ain't got no game. You gotta get your game up, right? That's the thing. It's not one thing. Just the same way that Muslims are not a monolith, you guys, the young people, are not a monolith.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where you are in that space, and what you're doing. We have heard from some people that they're scared to get married. Like, they're really afraid to get married.
Some of y'all don't think it's necessary to get married.
Some people don't
We're
think
definitely
it's
gonna be talking about
necessary.
that too.
Now, mind you, I'm listing these things and then I'm gonna back it up with something, okay? And then some people will say,
Don't be backing that thing up on here.
I gotta back it up. I gotta break it up and I gotta break it down, okay? And then some people will say that women are too dominant. They don't want, and I feel this whole feminist movement has played a part, in that. Now, mind you, I'm talking about Muslims. So let's back it up with the three things I talked about, okay? Number one, scared to get married. Muslims, you should fear Allah. Why are you scared? Why are you scared to get married? Maybe you have some type of situations in your family that you haven't seen good marriages. You haven't seen, role models or different things like that in regards to marriage. You've heard a lot of horror stories, whether it's monogamy or polygyny or whatever it is, in regards to that. So that's where your fear is coming from.
It might be coming from some type of psychological breakdowns. They just ain't ready psychologically.
But as a Muslim, you should not have a fear, okay? And number two, as far as you're not ready, don't know what, nobody knows when they're ready. Nobody is really, really ready.
I thought I was ready. Fool me.
We thought that, but that was something that we wanted to do at the time. Only Allah can say if something is gonna last or not. We didn't know this was gonna last.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah, we just had
I thought I would be gone by now.
We had to step into it. We stepped into it, but we stepped into it with commitment. See, that's a different story. We stepped into it with commitment. So about that, I don't feel it's necessary. I don't need to get married. That's not what Allah said. Allah said, get the singles married. Marriage is half our faith. So as a Muslim, are you thinking that, or is that yourself that's just thinking that?
That is what he said.
Yeah, that you don't need really want to get married or something like that. Yeah, like that. And now back to this whole feminist movement. That's not even a part of Islam either. That
Are we talking about big burly feminine or
no?
The big burly one?
We ain't talking about Shirley. We ain't talking about
Big Shirley.
No, not Big Shirley.
Oh, okay.
We ain't talking about that. So yeah, just breaking it down, that this whole feminist movement, because Allah gives us our rights. Trust me, I'm a righteous female over here.
Yeah.
I get all of mine. All of mine.
Can you try not to be so righteous sometimes?
But see, I'm vulnerable.
Make it easy on the brother.
But I'm vulnerable as well. I loves him. I loves him to do things for me. I loves it. He's so sexy when he paying all the bills. Oh my God.
What about when I'm washing the car?
Oh my God, he's so sexy when he pays bills. Hey, washing the car, washing the dishes. You know,
that's sexy.
All of that.
I'm about to wash the dishes tonight. What's up?
I don't have a
extra
need to
soap.
feel dominant over my husband. I just don't feel that. But and in that same way, I don't feel lesser as a person as well. So, you know, that, I mean, Islam has given me that. And that is also goes to self-esteem. And I think a lot of people, there's not enough classes where people need to understand what manhood is and what your rights are, and what womanhood is and what your rights are. And if we could just get back to those basic things, maybe we can understand marriage a little bit better.
Yeah, because the dishes is sexy. I'm gonna do the dishes tonight. You ain't got to worry about the dishes.
Well, if that's the case, then I kind of want to, because with those 3 points, I kind of want to start in the beginning of the process in regards to finding somebody, right? It says getting married is half your deen. Sometimes the problem is that we have too many options or not enough options. What I mean by too many options is social media, right? A lot of people in the area, you're scrolling, oh, I can see myself married with this person. I can see married with that person. I can see myself married. You really put that perception to your head. And you had a post today that I loved. He said, is he lying to you about who he is, or are you lying to yourself about who he is? Right?
Did you see the reactions to
I saw the reaction to that. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm bringing it up, because that comes in regards to the whole process of finding somebody that you think may be the one for you.
Yeah, and that one that's lying to you. Well, when we talk to y'all, they be lying to me too. I had to figure it out. Hey, well, this person lying.
Yeah, and you mentioned about options, about someone having too many options. Do you have too many options, or are you looking too much? You know, are you looking?
What does that mean?
Yeah, tell me the difference.
Okay, you said you're scrolling social media. Who's to say that person that you're looking at is an option for you? How do you know that that's an option for you? You know, how do you know that, you know, the first 3 people that you looked at, the someone that you look for, that, and they actually have to say that they're seeking, first of all, okay? Actually says that they're seeking. Who says that you need to go past 1, 2, 3? When you haven't even tried, you know, to contact or have any type of conversation with 1, 2, 3, and here you all the way down to number 9. Why? Why? Because it's so easy to scroll. Because it's so easy to look.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, I did not like this man. I did not like this man when we first met.
Can you get on one show and don't say how much you don't like me?
Can you get on a show and not say how many times we was about to divorce?
Is that what I said?
Yes, that's what you said.
I'll take it back then. Can you take it back, please?
Okay, I ain't taking it back. I did not like this man. But until we had a conversation, until we started engaging in different things, that's when his personality started to come out. Yeah. I wasn't scrolling. I wasn't looking for the next, what's better, or, this person looked better than this person. You compare. Yeah. You like at the eye doctor. What they do at the eye doctor?
Yeah, they
get
one
their
or two.
Yep.
One or two.
Yeah.
3 or 4. 3 or 4. You know, you're comparing as far as that is concerned.
Did they ever go down to 5 or 6?
They don't ever know.
If you go down to 5 or 6, something wrong.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, I mean, you have to start somewhere. So how are you saying that you have so many options when you haven't even started? You haven't even started at 1.
Yeah, we be trying to figure out what them options is that people be talking about. Oh, really? It's that many? And again, we haven't even explored 1 and 2 yet. So I don't even know how we get down to all these options that we got.
Wow. So with us being in this current COVID situation, how do you see, have you guys gotten situations where you see couples that get together, or relationships that start off good or they go bad? What are you guys seeing now with COVID, how relationships are ending up or leading towards marriage?
Too much exposure. I feel that you guys remember when we first went on lockdown everywhere, they shut the country down or whatever. Everybody threw themselves on social. People that was working. you know, that really didn't have time for social media, except maybe some evenings or on the weekend, that type of thing or whatever. Everybody went on social media all day long. On social media, everybody going live. I'm doing this. I'm like Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I'm like everybody.
Ronnie and Bobby out there too?
Yeah, you can't even keep up, you know, with just going live and different things. And I'm looking at him because we didn't start going live. We went on lockdown like in March. We didn't start doing lives until May. Because I looked at him, I'm like, folks are going to get burned out.
Yep.
This is going to be a burn out situation. Yep. Not even telling how long we're going to be locked down, you know, together. And it just became to the point where it's overexposed and you're talking about the same thing. I'm like, I was telling him, I said, are they just talking about this? How are you having a conversation about this? These what ifs and, you know, what is this? And then the man versus female and this and that. And this is like, that's what we're seeing with relationships. The overexposure, people taking their problems to social media, you know, for answers and responses, going live, you know, dragging each other.
That's just the wrong thing to do, period.
Yeah, dragging each other and different things. And that's, look, I posted on Facebook yesterday, since y'all see our Instagram post, I posted on Facebook yesterday, I said, the next person that sends us half a thesis about their marital problems and don't want to make an appointment, okay, we gonna find you. Yeah, we gonna track you down. Ridiculous. We gonna find where you work, okay.
Well, we the FBI now.
Yeah, and come on.
I ain't no FBI.
Come on your job, okay, and we just gonna talk about how we like cheese, because that's all you want is a conversation. You know, because when the solution is, I tell you to make an appointment so you can talk to us and have a consultation, and we can try to get to the root of your problem. You don't want that. You want to blow up my inbox. No,
because if you talk about the problem, a lot of times people talk about their problem, they find out something wrong with them.
Get to the solution.
Yeah. So they find out something wrong with them.
That's a great point. I like that. That's a great point. And one of the things that we've been talking about is in our generation, a lot of people don't address the things that they need to address on their own before they try and jump into relationships. And so we get a lot of DMs as well as people like, hey, like, you know, whenever we do a relationship episode, it always kind of, you know, gets people like, okay, let's see what they know the answer. We're like, yo, we're figuring it out ourselves too, right? But a lot of the times it seems as though the pressure of marriage makes people try and jump into it without actually having to address the problems that they may have or the things that they need to fix, whether it be financial, spiritual, emotional, you know, mental, whatever it is. And how do you feel like our generation should go about that before we get into a marriage? Or is that necessary? Or should you do it with your spouse?
I think some of y'all, your family done told you were crazy. And all you got to do is you need to go see a doctor before you come see me. Before we talk about marriage, you need to straighten yourself out first. See, the problem is you don't, this person may not see what their issues are. So I guarantee you, if the issues ain't fixed before marriage, you're gonna deal with them. You're gonna fix some stuff in that marriage.
You're gonna deal with them in your marriage, and you have to understand that everything about you doesn't always come to the surface as yourself.
Like, yeah, because I didn't know half the stuff about her.
You're trying to fix yourself. It takes another person to trigger that.
I was trying to tell you about it before I triggered it.
For that discovery, you know, to come out. It's the same way. You guys know how they say that we all have cancer cells. You know, we all have cancer cells in our body, and it takes certain things to trigger that. Some people get cancer, some people don't. It's because
the cancer just be sitting there waiting to go off. I'm about to go off up in here.
It's certain things that they eat or their environment or different things like that. It's the same thing with marriage. You have underlying things inside of you from your childhood, your environment, whatever you came from. And it takes a certain person to trigger those things, for those things to come out. So to say that you're going to be totally fixed before you go into marriage,
it ain't going to happen.
That's not the case.
That ain't going to happen. But again, if your family done told you, Didi, you kind of crazy. Didi need to go check Didi out before Didi talk about getting married to somebody and bring that craziness up into that marriage.
Yeah. But there's a certain way to tell Didi she crazy.
No, your family gonna tell you the real.
Yeah, there's a certain way to
tell you. You done lost them.
Because it might turn Didi off from going to see what type of crazy she really is.
And we all know, we all got, some people have, what do they call them things?
Mental illness?
Yeah, we got mental illness, and even black, we got mental illnesses in our families. It might not be the kind of mental illness that we learned growing up, because I always thought it had to be a type of situation to have some type of mental illness, but that ain't the case. But your family is going to know you before you get to know somebody else. Now, I'm saying this to say, we have seen it over and over again where people have not dealt with situations with themselves and caused way more harm in a marriage than they would have had they dealt with the situation before they got married. Don't just be falling in love, and then dude got to fall in love. Not just dudes, the female might have to fall in love with a psychotic joker too,
and it's not just to say that just because you have a mental illness that you can't be married, that you can't stay married, that you can't sustain a marriage, but you have to deal with that.
Because you might get mental illness after getting married.
Yeah, with it. You have to.
You might have to deal with it
with that mental illness. And I mean, real talk. I just found out someone in my family.
Oh, I'm glad you said somebody else.
Last week, was diagnosed, with the mental illness. So I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, dang.
Looking at me?
No.
It wasn't me.
I'm looking at my husband like, am I crazy? Because you mental illness.
And I answered her. I said yes.
Goes, it could be hereditary through the family or something, a gene or something that maybe it's something that you haven't dealt with or anything. But of course, I ain't crazy. Cray.
No, you ain't cray.
I'm cray.
You ain't cray.
I ain't crazy like that. I don't have anything as far as mental illness and stuff is concerned. But just to find out last week that someone in my family is diagnosed like that, it makes you think. It makes you think, and it makes you reflect. Like,
not me, because if you tell me somebody in my family was impotent, I ain't gonna say, "Ooh, am I impotent too?"
Really?
Huh?
Really?
I ain't going there.
Okay.
He said, "Wait till the show's over."
He said, "Nah."
It's so true because just like Jabril and I are good friends, right? We're best friends. Obviously, we're not married, right, to each other. Right?
Well, we're married to this podcast.
Married to the podcast, but there's certain stuff that I learned about myself that I didn't know until I got with Jabril, right? And he brought me the same thing. But I think it's also the fact that if there's something that's very apparent to you, you need to address it right now. For COVID, what we've seen is that the rate of young Muslim men watching porn has got up, right? There's a lot more consumption of porn because you're home and you just have more time on your hands, and they're like, you know what the solution is going to be? Let me get married and start having sex, and then I'll be good now. But that's usually not the case. You got all kind of
stuff on your hands watching that porn and things.
What kind of stuff he got on his hands?
He got some stuff on his hands.
I don't think I got nothing on their hands.
You set yourself up for that one, bro. You set yourself up for that one.
No, but that's just that. I'm sure that's stuff that comes up too. In regards to
comes up and comes out. Yeah.
So
what kind of show is this?
See, I'm saying a real one, but I also have to go back to this. Okay. If your sexual urges, and you love to talk about this.
Not me.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. If your sexual urges has gotten you to the point where your only gratification is porn, you really need to look at yourself. We need to look at it. That might be a whole nother issue in regards to masturbation or gratification or whatever that situation.
Emancipation.
Yeah. You need to emancipate yourself from that porn.
They showed
for real, because that has been porn addiction has also.
Can you talk in the third part and not the second?
Also been discovered as a mental illness. Listen, that's a form of mental illness as well. And if you bring that into your marriage.
It's a lot.
Wow. Okay, just think about that. You bring.
Well, they have brought it into the marriage, though.
Right. And then that becomes more pleasing to you than your wife. Your spouse. That's a problem. That's problematic. So yeah, I just can't think that to say that because of COVID that is a spike. Anybody who is watching porn like that is watching porn outside. They probably watching porn on their lunch hour. It's just more so discovered because of
during
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And
it ain't just all of a sudden just
saying.
happen up in there.
Yeah.
We raised 3 boys, so we
I don't know nothing
real.
about that. I ain't saw nothing. I plead the fifth up in here.
We just being real with the situation in regards to that. But there are cures and fixes to that, and it's going to go back to and we're going to speak as Muslims. As Muslims, it's going to go back to your faith. Okay, I know you're at work. You got that urge. You can't take a cold shower, but maybe you can go make 2 rak'ahs. Make wudu. Go make 2 rak'ahs, and we
know people gonna say well, I'm not gonna say we know people gonna say. We know people have said that they've tried these things. Yeah. Well, keep trying them. I ain't gonna tell you nothing different.
Yeah, don't give up. You're giving into and porn is a knob. So the knobs are winning. The knobs are winning. When you fall into.
Oh, Shaitan be like, hey, cool. Oh, I ain't even got to tell him nothing. He ain't got to tell him nothing today. Yeah, 10 o'clock, I already know where he going.
Yeah, he gonna press the button.
So when it comes to being ready, right? Let's say, you're thinking about your urges, your sexual urges versus, just your urge to get married. How do you, I guess, tell those two apart? Because sometimes they seem as though they're the same thing where you're like, man, I think I should get married right now. But it could be because, you're at that point. You're like, I want to be able to have sex and it be all good under God's eyes, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe you're not ready in a total sense.
Okay.
Then I think at that point, if you're not ready financially, if you're not ready spiritually, again, either your nafs going to take over or your religion going to take over or your iman is going to take over. You got to get those things ready. If you think you're ready sexually, then try to get those other things ready. Because again, I don't know, because if you get into it just for the sex, I mean, that might be all you get out of it.
Yeah, wow. And we have to remember, with the masturbation, and I hate to use this.
Yeah, because you're sure rolling that off your tongue right about now.
This is real talk. This is real talk. Like,
is that right? We're keeping it real.
Yeah.
This is gonna bless somebody. Okay, we have to remember that it's like the lesser of the two evils. Masturbation versus zina. Masturbation, versus.
And that's how it's compared.
Yeah,
literally.
That's it. Yeah, it's the lesser of the two evils. And when you're getting those urges, that's normal. You are normal people. You are normal human beings with sexual needs.
Yeah, because I guess if you're messing with your hand, you ain't about to have no babies out of wedlock then.
And that is how Allah made us. And that's why he knew, get the singles married. Because if you are looking, for that type of pleasure and that gratification, which comes along with marriage, it's better to be married. But once again, we're looking at the lesser of the two evils. Okay. If you're gonna sit up here, and masturbate versus, commit zina and that kind of thing, yay, that's how you're looking for it. But
eat some popcorn or something.
You have time to correct your affairs. So if you get married, you have time to correct your affairs.
Take up cooking lessons.
Trying to get some encouragement.
Build a car. Build an engine. I bet you that take up your time.
You might as well tell them to go knit and needlepoint or something.
Build an engine.
Stay busy all time of the night. But also, so say you're at the point right now, like you said, Brother Rufus, like, you got all your things aligned and you're good, your affairs, like, you know what, I'm ready to get married. But then you notice that your family might be a very big obstacle in regards to marrying somebody that's outside your culture. And you know that if I take this route, there's no coming back from this. Mm-hmm. There's people that aren't going to love me no more. People that aren't going to talk to me no more. And my life may be hard for the rest of the duration. What advice do you give to those type of people that are up against that? Or do you tell them like, hey, you might have to turn this girl better be worth it. You know what I mean?
I can't wait. You gonna take this because I can't wait to answer. I know you wait.
Both. I want to hear both.
I'm short.
I can't wait.
I'm short. This look. If that be the case, right? You gotta look at who are you pleasing first. Either you gotta please Allah first, right? Mm-hmm. So you gotta look when you weigh your options. you can't put your parents first. You have to put Allah first. Your parents should be teaching you that. So if you put Allah first and say, wow, I want to get married. Allah didn't tell me I couldn't marry outside of my culture or my race. Just because my parents prefer this ain't what Allah said. But I mean, you can weigh in with your parents and how they feel about something. But again, if it's down to your core and this is really something that you feel nothing's wrong with, again, does it go against Allah? Does it go against His messenger? Do it go against my parents? That's the order that I make decisions in my life, period. So if it don't go against Allah, it don't go against what His messenger said, and my parents may or may not be pleased with it, I'm going with my first two options first and foremost. If I can get to my third option, I may look at it and I may weigh in on it. But again, if you really feel, if what you're doing does not go against Allah and His messenger, hey, I say peace. And again, if Allah is going to bring that back, I put all my trust in Allah. So if as a young person you do that, you're not excluding yourself from your family. If your family do that, then that's on them. That's not your problem. That's not your thing. Okay, that's going to be something that your parents got to deal with. That's not on you. Do not put that on yourself.
Facts.
That's right. And the way that you phrase that,
did I do a good job?
No, not you.
Okay. Well, I did a good job too.
Okay. But the way that you phrase that said, I'm giving it all up. There's no going back.
Woo!
No going back. Now, yeah, like what he said as far as
the point of no return.
Sure, exactly. It's like if your family gives up on you, that's them. That's cutting the ties of kith and kin. That's on
and they're not supposed
them.
to do that. You're not doing that.
You're not doing that. That's them. That's on them. So it has nothing to do with you. And a lot of times as parents, because trust me, we know we got.
And the parents, I'm not trying to tell your children to just go against you. I said when
parents listen,
but y'all can't just put yourselves before Allah. That's all I'm saying.
And a lot of times as parents, because we got these millennials. We have to,
they definitely don't put me before Allah.
We gotta respect their decisions and their choices. We have to do that. We got to fall back.
Now, if your parents
gotta fall back, we still love them from a distance, but
I love them from a close distance.
Yeah, we have to fall back. Now, he had family members that told him.
Hey man, they was in the background like
not to marry him.
No.
He had family members.
I'm like, dang, boy, what's wrong with this girl? These people don't want me to marry her.
Yeah, because they knew how smart I was.
They knew that she's a hustler.
Boy, and I tell you what, almost all of them done came to her for something since we done been.
So how do you navigate those people? How do you navigate those people? Because you oftentimes will have people that want to get into your marital business, or like you're talking to someone, they want to get in that business and then give you those opinions of that person, or they'll be like, man, you change and da da da. What should you do when you're getting approached by people who you've known your whole life and they're giving you, their opinions of this person that they may or may not think highly of?
If you don't change, I'm going to think something wrong with you. If you get married and you don't change, I'm going to think something wrong with you.
But if they want to give you an opinion, look at their track record.
Yeah.
Look at their track record. He told me, about who it was and what they said and everything.
Did I tell you?
And he
Did I
told
tell you,
me.
girl? I should open my big
I know
mouth.
exactly who it is. I haven't, 30 years later, I haven't said anything to him to this day.
Well, can you keep it shut then?
Yeah, because they have to see all of this fabulousness.
The dopeness.
30 plus years later, okay? But you have to look at their track record.
Yeah.
Look at, how valuable is their opinion? Looking at their track record. And some of the people who told them,
you had 3 wives.
I was gonna say,
married to one. That might have been 4 plus 1.
5, you got 5 baby mamas.
Did this advice work for you in your marriage?
Exactly. And you got an opinion about?
Oh, you ain't even married yet. Oh, so why am I even talking to you?
Yeah.
No.
You married.
But you're right though.
Abusive, and you got an opinion.
I don't hit nobody. I don't do no hitting around
I'm
here.
talking about the opinionated. So I'm saying you really have to quantify people's opinions and what it really matters, the scope of things.
And I tell you, look, y'all young people use your head anyway, but use your head. Again, look at the situation. The person that's giving you this advice. I looked at mine, and this joker was banging everything under the sun. I was like, what?
Hey, keeping it 100.
Really?
Keeping it 100.
He just wanted me to be out there with him. I couldn't do that.
Exactly. Wow.
He was missing his partner, but you told me, said, bro, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Hey,
good point.
Hey, when they was going to the, see that was.
I was gonna say you getting too specific.
I stopped all activity with these jokers.
Yeah.
Let me put it to you this way.
All right.
But again, if your marriage do not change you in some way, something is wrong in your marriage. You're gonna change. I'm telling you, you're gonna change. You're gonna be you. Like, I'm still me. Everybody know I'm Rufus. Everybody know me. But everybody who know me. But have my decision making,
your mindset.
A lot is going to change.
Mindset. Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm telling y'all, if you know somebody who married and they ain't changed a bit, either they with somebody who is very passive, or they just it ain't really working.
They gonna put up with it.
I broke this down to somebody the other day. We've been together, and I try to say this because people say 30 years. Oh, wow, that's a lot. 30. I'm going to break it down. We've been together 3 decades. 3 decades. It is 10
Can you say 30 years? Because that sounds like I'm old as Methuselah.
But 10 years in a decade. You are not the same person that you were at 10 than you are at 20. Think about everything that you went through from 10 to 20, okay? You're not the same person.
10 years old, them was the good old years right there.
Y'all ain't made it yet, that 20 that you are at 30. Them 10 years between 20 and 30, there's a whole lot of changing, whole lot of experiences and stuff that's going on. Now, we got another decade going on, but we've done those 3 decades together.
And I done seen every change. I done seen changes I didn't want to see change.
Yeah, the different things that we've gone through together. So if you can mesh with someone and get through all of those changes,
we're just trying to get you to 20.
Yeah,
we can get you to 20. You have to do the rest on
your
your own.
Y'all trying to get people to 20.
We gonna say it again.
I was saying y'all trying to get people to 20. We just trying to get people to Nikah.
Trying to get you from Ramadan to Ramadan.
Yes.
So
yeah.
we trying to do that.
So what is some of I have this question, I have another one, but before I ask the first question of what should you look for in a spouse, or if how that even goes, what are some of the things that do change when you initially get married? Because we're used to being kind of free, you can kind of do what you want, or maybe you don't have that mindset. maybe you have the mindset of you're maturing, because him and I had a conversation about something, and I was like, I'm maturing in a way where 6 months ago, that wasn't the case, right? Like, I'm about my shmoney right now, because I know there's a foundation that needs to be built, right? Whereas before it's like, whatever. What are some of those changes that you...
I'm going first.
That you see initially into a marriage?
I got a couple things to say about this, okay? So when we first got married, he was still in the music business and doing different things as far as the music business was concerned, but he was also in the military. So we moved a couple times as far as the military was concerned, but wherever we moved, he always wanted to build a studio.
I built a studio everywhere I went.
So that's
what I'm telling y'all about that soundproof.
Hey.
I'm gonna holler at you offline.
Studio equipment, right? So what I saw, my first 10 years of marriage,
10,
my first 10
15,
years
who count? I ain't
marriage
counting.
was any extra monies, all my tax refund checks, and different things like that, going towards studio equipment. Where other people, they were buying whatever they wanted to buy and different things like that. But I supported his dream. I supported his goals. I supported, everything that he wanted to do in regards to that.
I just wanted a new board.
In regards to that. So after, he got out of that phase and different things that he wanted to do or whatever, it flipped, and he supported me, in what I wanted to do.
Oh,
but a lot of people probably wouldn't have got past that phase.
I was just about to say that. They'd be like, what?
Yeah.
She's following her. What about me? He's following his dreams.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have got cast that face because they would have seen that as that's all just you and selfish. But I'm saying we're just common, regular, normal people. But you look at a lot of celebrities and some of the marriages that have held on to different things like that, like Denzel Washington's wife, how she got out the biz to raise the kids and be his support, and different things that he wanted to do. LeBron James' wife, how she did that, how she pulled back and just made sure she was there for the family and made sure that he was there to be able to do what he wanted to do. People need to understand that.
Well, look at Kobe. I mean, even Vanessa, after, I mean, she supported Kobe, but Kobe started supporting her in a lot of things that she wanted to do after he got out of the league.
Yeah, so things that you want to do early on in a marriage, some things may change, and it's the acclimation.
Oh, it's gonna change.
Yeah, it's the acclimation and being a support for one another, to see that instead of thinking that something is just selfish and one person is only thinking about themselves. And once again, we tie this in with that feminist movement and different things, because I'm just gonna be strong. I'm gonna do me. This is how it is, and different things like that. We
still ain't talking about Big Shirley, right?
No, we ain't talking about Big Shirley.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Not Big Shirley, okay. And just being able to be there for your mate, in that type of support. And we should be able to do that, as women, in a marriage, and not have all type of resentment, for our mate, whether it's the first year of marriage or where's the 15th, even in 30 years.
Well, it ain't just got to be the woman. The man could be supporting her at the beginning too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying in the flip side. But I'm saying even at year 30 now, and if he turns around and he wanted to do something, he want to take flying lessons. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't getting up in no air. That's 30 feet up.
I'm just saying.
Nobody dropping me out no sky.
If it's something that he wanted to do, then I find a way to try to, within myself, to support that.
I'm just trying to get the gender at this point.
I'm just saying, it could be anything like that. And you have to acclimate. First year of marriage or whatever it is, you have to acclimate.
Hey, and you might have to get rid of some friends that, look, man, I had 4 cats I used to go out with all the time. Hey, man, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want to go out anymore, they didn't, that was the only time we could hang out.
Yeah.
Bruh, I dropped them like a bad habit.
They were a bad habit.
They was not, I'm trying to get 20 years in my marriage. Now, am I marrying them or am I marrying her? Yeah. I had to figure that out real quick.
It's fine. I just want to put this in here, but it's funny how you talk about some people that, and we could do this because it's back in the day for us.
But I'll be talking about my friends.
It's funny how you talk about some people back in the day and you look them up on Facebook and you see that they're like still single.
Well, no, some of them got divorced. Hey, hold on.
Divorced,
some of the cats, because some of us got married about the same time and they were still going out and doing those things. I stepped away from it. Some of them people are actually divorced now.
Yeah.
So again,
you guys think about that in your young age. You know, what do you want? What do you want your legacy?
Where's your commitment at? Is your commitment with them? Is your commitment with her?
Yeah, your commitment to your friends, or is your commitment to your marriage and building your family? And
I ain't saying you can't have no friends, but the point I'm making is
they can't be more important.
I had to ditch them because they were toxic for my relationship. And I knew it. I knew it early on that there's nowhere in the world me and these boys is gonna be able to keep hanging out like we do.
I had to become Martin in the female version. They come over to the house and y'all get to step in.
I said, Rufus was like, no, baby, don't go, no. He had the Martin, no, baby, no, I'm sorry, Gina, no.
Yeah, they had to go.
So what are some of those things that you recommend people who are on the search look for within a spouse? And it seems like the first thing is someone that's going to be supportive of the dreams and aspirations that you have.
No, let's go with the first thing is commitment. Just make sure you find someone that's actually committed to marriage. If we're talking in doubts, if we're talking in we'll see if this work or any of that, you want commitment. If you can't the marriage ain't gonna work without commitment.
It's funny because we try to help people get married and different things, and trust me, they blow up our inbox like 95 going south, like seriously blow up our inbox. And while they love to sell themselves, Like people will pitch themselves to you. I'm 6'4" and I'm a stockbroker and I'm this and that and I break them down with one simple question. Because, it's more to me than the physical. Mm-hmm. People are always looking for the physical, and it's more to me to the physical. So I have one simple question.
Yeah, I did see some dime pieces back in the day.
Really? What they look like now? What they look like now? You look
a 5-piece.
What they look like now?
At KFC.
Okay, so I'm just saying, one simple question. What does marriage mean to you? What does it mean to you? Mm-hmm. While you're selling me the used car salesman pitch, and everything. What is the long-term goal?
But we're here today because of commitment. See, without commitment, there is no what we thought of marriage, right? And how big of a commitment that was. A lot of people don't look at marriage that way. They look at it as a stepping stone.
Yeah, something they're gonna try.
So
the trial version.
If you look at it as a commitment, you'll get through the rough times. You'll get through the times that you didn't know you had strength to get through because of that commitment. You'll get through religion with commitment. If you commit to the deen, everything that you're doing is going off the deen and everything else.
The 5
you'll
pillars.
get through.
Yeah.
You'll get through whatever you're going through in life because of that commitment. And that's what Allah be talking about when he say put him first. If you got that commitment, you'll make it through and you'll get to that other part where you're pleasing Allah and Allah's pleased with you and the things that you're doing. The same with a marriage. If you actually make a commitment to marriage when you get married, you'll make it through all of them trials and tribulations that you gonna go through. You think it that you ain't if you won't. I love when people don't think they're gonna go through nothing.
Yeah, we love it. We love that part.
You're gonna go through the thing, but if you have that commitment in the beginning, you guys can make it through whatever.
And I have to ask, why do people think you have to be so perfect to get married? Everything has to be so perfect. You're not perfect. You two aren't perfect sitting right there. Mm-hmm. Not even sitting by a long shot. We aren't perfect people.
Huh?
We aren't. You aren't.
Oh yeah, I was saying that. I was gonna say that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're not perfect people by a long shot, but we're making it happen together. We are making it happen, and no one you meet is going to be perfect. That's what all these lists, and everything, and these what they gotta have, and what's going on. You're not perfect. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to put up with your ish.
Yes.
Somebody's got to put up with that. Trust and believe. And I just don't seem to understand why people can't get together and work it out. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody. Some of the biggest problems we have when we're talking to couples and different things like that, men don't like for me to tell them they're wrong.
And okay.
They don't like to hear that. Mm-hmm. They don't like to hear that. That goes back to something in their family. That goes back to either childhood, something in their family, something that they have a problem with a woman.
So he probably got too much testosterone going on.
Something telling them that they're wrong.
You need to stop all that whey powder. It might take off some of that testosterone.
Now he could tell them. He could rephrase what I said. And they good.
And they take it. They take it. Yeah.
Yeah. Bros.
It's really interesting because what y'all said. I think the word commitment isn't as heavy as we should take it, because you don't know that somebody's committed, or everybody says they ride or die, but they don't know what it is until it's time to ride. I've had situations where people are like, yeah, I'll do anything, but when it's time, they're like,
they know to be seen.
I didn't know it's gonna be this hard. I'm gone.
Why are you saying? What do you really think marriage is? You really think? See, I gotta put my coffee down. Yeah, you really think marriage?
Please don't put your coffee down, please.
Release your gold. Oh, the cute little picture, and everything.
We took a picture over here. We took this picture. We took that picture. And then that joker got back after they got off the beach, and he lost his job, and all hell broke loose.
So it's just. What is it?
I feel sorry for the brother.
Who are you looking at? Who are you talking to? Who are you listening to? To think that you're not gonna go through challenges. There's so much in Quran and Sunnah in regards to conflict resolution and how to work things out and things about your marriage and stuff that what are you reading? What are you not reading? What are you?
That brother found out real quick. He didn't have a ride or die.
Yeah,
she died real quick.
What part are you missing? You know that a marriage is half your faith because it's going to test you. It's going to challenge you. It's going to. Can you hold your anger?
I quit my job just to see if she leave me.
Can you hold your anger? Okay. What is your patience level?
Yeah.
What on what level is that?
Hey, I quit my job and she went out and got a job. I said, what the? I can't get rid of this woman for nothing.
As the muezzin and the imam in your marriage and in your house, and you call and pray, and you call prayer, and your wife ain't coming, what kind of test is that? Wonder what type of conversation y'all are having when that happens.
Well, that's a good example. That's a good example, and I want to go into that. How important is it that you guys are at a certain level, at a certain closeness in your level of whether it's spirituality or maybe it's finances or even like your expectation of lifestyle and wants going forward? How important is it that you are aligned in that?
You talking about in the beginning?
In the beginning or now?
In the beginning, like when you're starting out.
Because you'll grow to that. Yeah. In the beginning, for me,
I made more money than him.
For me, it's not important.
I made more money than him.
Right?
Yeah, because I had a higher rank in the military, so I made more money than him.
It's not important. Yeah. It's not as important as your commitment. Again, you can have those differences, but if one person is not committed, again, when those hard times hit, hey, that's when them tests gonna come. So the commitment is more important than any of that.
Right, but it wasn't to the point, even though I made more money than him. And then when we got married, his paycheck...
If you say that one more time...
I'm trying to explain. His paycheck increased because he had a family. So now he's getting that BAQ and all that good type of that extra money, military gives.
I was trying to have more babies so I can get some more money. So quit saying, I got more money than you.
But either way it goes, even though I made more money, it did not mean that I made all the rules. And
I was still a man up in there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get that twisted.
Yeah,
they sure did. They weren't married to me.
Yeah, just because of that factor, and that is a huge discussion that needs to happen before marriage.
You ain't taking my manhood. I don't care who he is.
And you weren't taking my money. I
love how you guys said that, because in regards to commitment, now when we hear women that are out here, Muslim women that are really on it, right, and then they have a guy that may not be on the same level, what we hear is they're like, might be the feminist movement. They're like, I don't have time to fix you. That's what we hear now. Like, I don't have time to fix you. You need to be on it. You know what I'm saying?
What's wrong with you?
What's
wrong with you?
But but you ain't gotta fix nobody either.
Exactly.
Fix yourself.
I'm not a dog.
Yeah. If they got a problem with it, it might be something that they need to fix. But they just ain't looking at it.
But why they gotta fix you? I don't understand. How are they so perfect that you gotta be fixed?
And the only person and look, I keep telling people, especially us religious people, you don't care what religion you is. Okay. It don't matter what religion you is. If you're any type of religion, the only person can fix you is God. Period. Most religious people I know, I don't care what Christian, Jew, whatever, only person can fix you is God. We all believe that. Now, so it's not about someone else, you being able to fix someone else. Leave them alone. All right. If you got a problem with your spouse, I'm gonna say y'all married, and she's saying, well, I can't fix you. Quit trying to fix it. Because you can't fix them anyway. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and Allah will fix whoever. If he needs to be fixed, Allah will fix
that. Right, and stop trying to pay so much attention to saying that somebody is broken. Now, as far as the money is concerned, and I'm speaking to the sisters right now, everybody can't marry a baller. Yeah. Okay, so y'all need to get Russell Wilson and Sierra out your mind. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Well, Jay-Z, they got to get Jay-Z out their mind too.
And especially at 20-some years of age, you know, unless he NBA, you know, or stock market, or whatever situation.
Princess Zamunda.
It's going, unless he's what's his name? Akeem.
Akeem.
Yeah, he the Princess Zamunda. You know, it's a lot of regular brothers out here that's really doing good and cool stuff that you
they're good and they're committed.
Yeah, and you can align yourself with a regular good brother and y'all could become a super team, you know, and come up together instead of flashing all of your education and credentials in front of his face like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can have this together.
But now some people want to marry money, and again, that's what they're going to get. I ain't finna name no names.
I don't know where they're getting it from. I'm trying to think. You know, in the 20-somethings, I don't.
But what I'm saying, like you said, everybody can't be a baller. So if 20 women waiting around for this baller, only one of y'all may or may not get the baller. Yeah. So the 19 of y'all done reached y'all 40s and 50s and still ain't married because y'all waiting on the baller.
So y'all better be looking at Bilal, Idris, you know, and Muhammad, you know, to try to make, you know, get half your dean and y'all couple up together and become a baller. There's nothing wrong with that. Michelle Obama says that when her and Barack got married, they were in debt.
Oh, like, I don't feel bad
seriously
now.
In debt.
But I wasn't in debt though.
No, they had student loan debt. Like,
oh yeah, I ain't had no student loan debt.
Seriously in debt, and look what they have built together.
You know,
it's 20-some years later, but they have built that together. But a lot of people, you want it now.
They want it now.
Wow. 20 years old.
And Michelle didn't know she was marrying the president of the United States.
No,
not when she got married.
Exactly.
So quit thinking that you're gonna just all of a sudden marry these type of people. They might be within the person you're marrying, but you would never know. That's right.
You never know.
Somebody else gonna find out.
You never know who you're marrying, and you know if
because you didn't know who you was marrying.
No, I'm so glad I'm married.
I know
I'm
who
so
he is.
glad I'm so glad. But had we known 30 years later that this is where we would be, that we would be like voices in the Muslim community or even a marriage voice worldwide as far as doing what we do and helping people and all that, we didn't know this. Yeah. We did not know. And see, that's what I try to tell people. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You know,
marriage is a journey. Period.
You know, and you just need to have somebody.
They said
on the journey that you actually
come along
can make it
ride
fun along the way.
Fantastic journey. No, he said buoyant.
I said journey.
Well, he said buoyant.
Okay. So how about? And right now, I heard Will Smith say something a few years ago, and I actually used that line, and it got me in a lot of trouble, but it was actually so true. In regards to happiness, Rufus, are you in charge of Jenny's happiness, and she in charge of your happiness? Or are you supposed to make her happy?
Sort of. And I say sort of because
he knows what I like.
You have to be happy with yourself first and foremost. You have to be satisfied. If she wasn't satisfied with herself, I don't care what I do or did or done, she ain't finna be happy. I don't care. I'm telling you, you cannot make a miserable person happy. It just don't happen. And I tried for about 3 years in this marriage, 2 years. 2 years.
There you
1 year then.
There you go. But this isn't, and also, I mean, that's like a blanket statement because happiness is in the little things to me. You know,
that's what I'm saying, man. I never knew that me washing dishes was gonna be a big deal.
Oh yeah, you sexy me washing.
Okay.
You sexy, you pay bills, washing dishes, cleaning, all that good type of stuff.
You know how many dishes I started washing after that?
You get them throbs like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam doing them chores and all of that. Yeah, you doing that, boo. You doing that.
And I didn't even care the reason that she wanted me to wash the dishes. Maybe she just didn't want to wash the dishes. But to tell me I'm sexy doing it, yeah, I'm washing dishes.
But happiness is like in the little things. Like today, the first thing I wanted to do was work out because we've had like a slam busy week and I haven't been able to do what I wanted to do. It's like in the mind, but the body just wasn't doing it. So I went downstairs to do that and our technical stuff wasn't really working. Like we have a TV down there that you stream and different stuff like that or whatever. He takes care of all of our technical stuff and it wasn't working. I wasn't gonna stress over that. So I just
ain't been down them stairs in about 14 years.
It ain't been 14 years.
It seemed like a lifetime or something.
I wasn't gonna stress over that, but I knew if I called him, he would know what to do to fix that. That's happiness to me. Just I don't want to stress it. Whatever it is, tinker with it, work it out. Whatever. I just wanted to.
Now, see, me knowing that about her, this is where we go with knowing your mate. I could have easily yelled downstairs and said, "You need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Turn on the TV. Do this. Hook a cord up to." I could have said all that, but it was easier for me to get up, go down there, put the stuff in there, turn the thing on, and say, "Here you go."
Right. And so then I had my stream and I was able to work out and I was happy.
Yeah.
That made me happy. So I'm saying the happiness is in the little things. He doesn't have to be doing, cartwheels or, making it rain, like you see these people on social media and different stuff like that or whatever. It's like the little things. And then
I can sign up to be a gymnast if you like it though.
When I was done, he had dinner ready. He had cooked some shrimp fried quinoa and stuff, whatever. So you know what I'm saying?
I see you, chef.
Of me.
I am trying to eat healthy now.
So that, the happiness is in the little things, like that. It doesn't have to be all big and, glamorous and luxurious and all different things like that.
Oh, you like that Mercedes. Don't act like you didn't like that Mercedes when it was sitting in the driveway.
Heated seats. No, that's important because one of the things that I was talking to one Muslim sister about, she's saying that a lot of guys, they just try and do too much. And it goes back to what we were talking about before we started, was you're single until you're married. And a lot of guys, it comes off that, you have to do all these things to even get this woman in. But in reality, it's like you said, it's the little things that actually get you and create that happiness, not these big grand gestures.
Yeah, because how many times can you actually do that? How many times can these big, grandiose, things happen?
Oh, that Mercedes was a one-time deal.
But on a daily basis, you can do little things, little things. I think I had posted years ago when we started this, years ago. And some people this may go over your head or whatever. But I was happy because he had put warm water in the extension bottle. Now, if y'all don't know what that do for a sister, that made me happy, okay? Warm water in the extension bottle, which means somebody was thinking about their mate.
Yeah.
You were tuned in, about their mate. And that is just something that's very little and very detailed.
Wow.
But it goes a long way as far as happiness is concerned.
I love how you guys kind of really broke that down, because it definitely makes sense, because that's what we think now. Like, we want a woman to be happy, so we go on vacation or we just give her some money in her hand. That make her happy for a little bit, but those small things, like you actually paid attention. Another thing that women really do like, and we hear about it all the time, and I think this is an ongoing process that's pretty hard for men, is proper communication. What that really means, like communicating, and leadership, right? When we think about leadership, we're like, okay, well, I'm a man, I go to work and I pay the bills, but no, it's like, where do you want to take us? Like, where's our family going, right? Like, what direction are you taking us? Communication is like, hey, after we're done with the conversation, do I know what you want me to do, or do you know what you're going to do? Does your family know what's going on? So those are two things right now that, for me personally, that I've been learning and have been to work on. And that's been pretty tough to do,
Well, I think if you align your goals, have conversations about your goals. We just had this conversation 3:00 this morning.
Wow.
We just had this conversation 3:00 this morning. What we're doing, what we're gonna do going forward.
Did I have one eye open? Was I trying to sleep or something?
I'm going to sleep.
For the next 3 weeks, what we're going to do, and those conversations can come at any time, because when you get an idea, don't think that your mate is going to know what you're talking about. You have to get that out. You have to communicate it, because just because it's something that you want to do, that doesn't mean that it's something that the other person wants to do. And they have a right to chime in. They have a right to tweak it. They have a right to add in, different stuff, asking maybe if it's the right time or stuff like that. I love to use the example of Killer Mike and his wife, when he wanted to spend $650,000 on a car. And she told him it might be a better investment to buy an apartment property. They bought the apartment property, and they still have that today. Now it's making money, and he used the profit to buy the car. But he made the investment. She chimed in on what he wanted to do, the goal, and they made a better decision. you know, in regards to that. That's communication. You know, that's communication, and not doing just what you want to do. And
right, I told you this is what I was going to do.
He could have pulled up in the car. You know what I'm saying?
With this game, right?
Oh, he said it looked like he said wind it up
for conversation. 99 questions for one great conversation, because we do deal with a lot of couples.
I saw him doing like this.
No, I said he could have just pulled up in the car. That's what I said. Instead of telling her about it, he could have just pulled up in the car, you know?
Right. That's all. The 99 questions for one great conversation, because couples are having a hard time communicating.
Well, he just said it. Yeah, communication is how to communicate is the biggie, right? Because we don't go into and again,
I said I was gonna do it later.
Yeah, I'm not hearing none of that. See, you just shut me off right there.
Exactly, that's the turn off.
The conversation is over right then.
I don't know who you talking to.
Dead conversation.
Who you talking to? That's about to turn into another conversation. Yeah, it's about to turn into
you ain't get nothing but the dead air. But how you communicate is one thing. To say you told someone something, and how they received it. Again, a lot of times we don't tune into how someone is receiving what we're saying. I don't mean you say it how you gonna say it, you angry, whatever. How did your spouse receive what you said?
And sometimes
you know exactly how they receive it.
Sometimes it's not really good to say it when you're angry. You know, even the law says
it's never good to say it when you're angry.
You know, give people 3 days. You guys know that we talk to couples who don't even have, like, think of that mantra or whatever. I said, well, did you give them 3 days? You know what I mean? No, I wanted to talk about it right now. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Buddy was trying to get his calm on, like woosah
that's
up in
not
here.
even, as a Muslim, that's not even what you're supposed to do or what's supposed to happen. So in communication, as far as Islam and Muslim wise, is, you know, you have to give the person 3 days if they're not really feeling it. Okay, you can't.
I used to give her 6 days. You need to double it up.
I'm extra Muslim.
I had to sometimes. I had to. But if you can't talk to a person, what else does it say? Seek mediation. So I ask people, did y'all talk to anybody? You know, a friend, a family
are we
member?
really trying to save this marriage? Where's the commitment at?
I don't want nobody in my business.
These steps, Allah and they put these steps in mind for, again, those who are committed. If you're committed to the marriage, you'll put these steps in. It's not about, I don't want to talk to nobody. Can't nobody tell me about my relationship. Look, again, that's why I say put Allah first. If you're not going to put Allah and His messenger first, then you're not going to go by anything that they said. You're going to go by, I'm going to go by His line.
I just don't understand how somebody could say, I don't want nobody in my business, but your business is all jacked up. I mean, like,
and if you're on social media,
you need a business consultant to come in and fix. You need a business consultant to come in.
You need some help. You need some help. So that's really showing you how selfish you are, you know, in regards to that. And that's why we get a lot of one-sided inboxes, because one person only wants to tell their story, and we tell people we have to hear both sides.
Yeah.
We really have
I
to
ain't
hear
making
both
no decision
sides.
after hearing one person
exactly
who really feel that they know the whole situation.
Story.
When Allah tells me it's me, my wife, and him involved in when we have a dispute anyway.
And also, Allah also tells us to judge fairly. So how can we judge fairly when we're only hearing one side?
You can't.
Your side, which is probably
anybody
not
who do
all of the truth.
Anybody who do judge after hearing one person's side, watch out.
Yeah.
Again, you can't judge that situation by just because that person is your sister, brother, cousin,
gotta hear it,
friend, or whoever they might be. You can't judge the situation by hearing one side. Well, I know how he is. I know, but you don't know what that situation was when it happened.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that I feel like in the Muslim community, or maybe just might be the religious community in general, that we don't talk about enough, and I know it really hinders relationships, are in-laws. I don't think we're taught enough how to navigate in-laws, how to draw those boundaries, how to put somebody in their place if they need to, obviously in a respectable manner. You know, because one of those things now, what we see is that if somebody has an in-law that's not on board, or they're not really dealing with it, they're like, you know what? Let me take you over here and we out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's move to another country. But then the person a few years later, they might resent them. Like, yo, you took me away from my family. I know they're not the best, but like, dang, you know. So, what advice do you give to people when it comes to in-laws and how to kind of go through that?
It's tricky in regards to that, but you also have to remember that they do not run your marriage. They do not run your marriage, and you have to place boundaries. You have to place boundaries. Now, if you know you have those type of in-laws, they may not be the best counsel. Oh. You know, if you're seeking counsel, you have to go outside of your parents or your in-laws, because then if your in-laws find out that you talk to your parents and not her parents or something like that, there might become some jealousies or different things. You might just have to seek separate counsel.
He says take counsel from this side and one from that side. You might have to go to mom and pops ain't really they a little bit biased. They ain't like her from the jump. Well, I might have to go to uncle.
Yeah.
I might have to go to auntie. I might have to go to somebody else to try to get a more fairer opinion here.
Yeah. So you're seeking somebody that's to be just. And then you're going to have those family members who are committed, those in-laws who are committed to not like whoever you marry.
Yeah, regardless.
You know, whoever the person is that you get with. And you have to be okay with that.
That's right. You did. So then here we go again. Put a law in his messenger first. If you finna do something, you finna move away and it goes against Islam, that's one thing. Now, if you do move away, of course, you know you have to allot her time to go back to visit her family and that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take her away and then she just can't never see her family again.
But that sounds like abuse.
And you're having that conversation because it is going to bring strife between you two, because you're having a conversation.
Yeah, because when she go before him, they're going to be talking about how much of a dog he is. Who that dog of a husband you got. They're going to be dogging you. Yeah. But hey, man, she do got a right to go see her people.
She does have a right, yeah. So, or he has a right to go see his, like in that situation. And then you also have to be mindful of how your mate feels. And you never want to put them in a situation where they feel like they're being belittled or berated or anything like that, because you become the maintainer and protector as a man, and you always have to maintain. But
I tell you what, if you let her go
of your mate,
as soon as Friday comes, I'm gonna pick you up Friday at 8:00. I'll be there at 8. I'll be there at 7:59. Girl, let's go.
Yeah, have your bags at the door. We rolling out, okay? You saw your family.
You saw them. Hey, y'all had a good old time. They talked about me. I don't care. You ain't got to tell me nothing.
Next year, let's go. Let's go. Next year. I'm just saying. Sometimes you have to love people from a distance.
Yeah.
You know, because it is what it is.
It's gonna be toxic. I ain't bringing all that negativity to me.
You're not cutting them off. And then also, when kids come into play, attitudes may change. You know, kids have a way of softening hearts. You know, and attitudes may change as you become family.
Yeah. Even if they don't, again, do your part. When I stop worrying about what everybody thought, not only did my marriage flourish, but I did. Look, man, that's too much on people to be worrying about what everybody trying to please everybody.
You got the weight of the world on you, plus you're trying to maintain a marriage. That's a lot. And
trying to stay on your deen. Yeah. We got a whole bunch.
That's what I'm saying. Look, that one alone is hard enough. That one alone is hard enough, just trying to stay on your deen and make sure you go in the right direction. But if you're trying to, appease everybody else's feelings and make everybody else happy, you set yourself up for failure.
Exactly.
Hey, look, people, I done did it all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I got enough in me. That's why I put this book out, because I said, if y'all ain't got to go through what I went through, if I can make it easy for some, I ain't gonna just say the brothers. I'm gonna say for marriages, period. Man, I'm trying to make it easy for y'all. But if you want to bump your head, and I tell you what I done been through in the book, and then you still don't believe it, you want to bump your head anyway, go right ahead.
So who is the book for? Is it for people who are married? Is it for people who are thinking about it, or maybe they're in the talking stages? Who specifically did you write the book for?
It's for everybody.
It is for marriage.
There are different stages, like in the book. Like we go through different stages of our marriage and different things.
Before we got married.
Yeah, that we went through. And
before she liked me all of a sudden. Just all of a sudden out the blue sky, you just started liking me or something?
Really?
Oh. Hold on. Walk us through that. Because I feel like a lot of people listening are in that stage. They like somebody, but that person may or may not necessarily like them. Walk us through how you broke through that.
Okay, I think we did it on the radio show the other day?
We had an interview a few days ago. Yeah. So how do you approach someone? That's the thing. How do you approach someone? His first cousin set us up. Because he looked, after having conversations with me and different stuff like that, he thought that we would be a great match.
I wasn't looking at her to save her life.
I wasn't looking at him like this thing. I was gonna marry a baller. Okay, he was gonna
right.
6 foot,
Hey, partner, I'm telling y'all, we done been through everything y'all probably thinking about. She thought she was gonna marry a 6 foot tall baller and all this.
He was gonna be 6 foot.
She didn't know she was gonna get this shawty over here.
His life all laid out, different things or whatever. I'm gonna be the smart chick coming in his life and different. I had that. That was the plan, because my earliest aspirations, I was gonna be a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. So that was gonna put me in the circle with the ballers, So that was the plan.
But we had good conversation, right? So what happened was, remembering that conversation, even though we both didn't really look at the relationship like that.
I wasn't looking for a relationship
at the time. Exactly.
I wasn't looking for anything. I was looking. Okay, we gotta break this down. All right, so
how long these boys got?
For those, I gotta break it down.
This show finna go on.
So for those who do not know, my husband and his cousin, my husband's cousin isn't Ready for the World. So Ready for the World, if you guys don't know, is this group from back in the day.
Man, these people went back in the 80s. They just know the end of the 90s and the 2000s.
They got this
whole they don't know nothing about no Ready for the World.
Big old hit, Oh Sheila, that type of thing. And he was doing a lot of writing, producing. He was in the studio with them and on tour and different stuff.
Did a lot of writing with my cousin.
Yeah, and I was working at a radio station and ended up going to this party for Ready for the World and stuff. But anyway, we met kind of around the way like that.
I don't know why they need to know all that, but
because I'm telling them. So I was having conversations with his family, who's part of Ready for the World, and that's kind of how we met and different things, and we were having conversations. So we got into there was a group of us there, and he just happened to be there.
My cousin was like, "Man, this girl all on you, man. I think she wants you, dog."
He was lying. He was lying.
But that's what he said.
That wasn't it. That was still not it. But in the midst of this conversation, that's when I started seeing more of his personality come out. And seeing him and who he was, and he made me laugh. He was hecka funny. He was really funny.
I ain't no Eddie Murphy or nothing.
No, he was really funny. So, humor can be sexy too. Humor can be sexy. So I started seeing him in a different light. So if you're just looking at someone and you haven't approached them, you haven't had a conversation or anything with them, how do you expect to go, to another step, another phase? Because you're looking at pictures, you're swiping your different stuff or whatever. You don't even know what this person sounds like. You might not like their voice. They open their voice. You be like, I ain't gonna be able to take 20 some years of that.
That's a no for me, dog.
Or even if it's like, this whatever. There's somebody for that person, but it just may not be you. I'm just saying. So until you get into conversations with people, you approach people. And this is why we tell people, stop this. Stop this.
I gotta finish my game today. I'm in the playoffs.
The text messages. Stop that. This is not communication. This is not.
Oh, you talking about text? You're talking about the PlayStation.
Exactly.
Oh, my fault.
Get on the phone. Yeah. Get on the phone with people because you can't really tell tone.
You can tell inflection in voice,
different things. You can't.
And we're only telling y'all from our experience. All right, even in Islam, it's okay. Talk to them on the phone. Again, you gotta get to know somebody. You can't say, "Hey, this is Ismail," and "Hey, my name is Fatima, yada yada. Yeah, I'm looking for marriage." Y'all got to get to the only way you're gonna get to know each other pretty much in Islam, because you can't. They know we ain't finna move in together and we ain't finna be having this relationship. We're gonna try to it's on the phone, not the text, not the Facebook, not the Instagram.
And after you've had some conversations here, maybe you could take it to more of a visual, so FaceTime or a chat or something like that or whatever. But this is not going to get you to where that you need to be.
In having those conversations with her and some of the things that we talked about, we got to know each other. We got to know what each other likes, dislikes,
our values,
aspirations. We kind of knew a little bit more about each other.
A 2-parent household. I came from a 2-parent.
That's important. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's our values, were aligned, and we weren't, he wasn't a baby daddy, I wasn't trying to have.
Oh, I was a baby daddy.
Just
we were, you trying to be a sugar daddy, but you wasn't no baby daddy.
So if the values,
but we learned, but y'all are gonna learn, especially y'all young folk, because we know y'all got the text and stuff now. Y'all gonna learn more about each other on that phone. You're gonna start liking the person's personality from that phone. It's not gonna be how they look. It's gonna be how they talk and how they talk to you. Yeah. And that's when you can know a little bit. That's the way I see. Look, even before Islam, that's how we learned each other. That's how we learned. I mean, some people learned the other way. They was hands on.
How long did it last though?
Yeah, it didn't really last long, but they was hands on. My cousins was hands on.
And see, and from that meeting, and his personality coming out, and me seeing how funny it was, then I wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted to talk to him more. I wanted
and then
to
it was
learn
I commit again? Here go that word again. Could I commit to this girl and only this girl until death do us part? And the more and more we talked, the more and more I saw that commitment. So when I made that commitment, I actually made that commitment for real.
It's until death do us part, guys. It's not to the next Ramadan. It's not to the next Salat. It's not till, we just gonna have a kid and, if it don't work out.
Well, if you go to the next Ramadan, that ain't to death do your part. Did you die or something?
There's some people who are really waiting for marriage so they can have kids inside of wedlock. And if it don't work out after that, then, at least they had their children.
And that's not commitment. Again, that's a purpose. You have an agenda.
You got an agenda for it.
And there are a lot of people who have agendas. That's why you gotta talk.
Yeah. So how big of a role does a wedding play when it comes to a marriage? Can a wedding be a deal breaker? Somebody wants a big wedding.
This is a great.
Somebody wants a small wedding, and they're like, but some people say hey, this is what a girl's been dreaming about since she was 2 years old. Is put on that white dress to give her what she asked for, and that's it. This is the only day that she wants. Or is it hey, because in my experience, I'm we gonna get a nikah, rack this joint up, and we gonna live our life. You know what I mean? So, but some people nah, let's do
$20,000, $30,000, $40,000 weddings,
and the family pressure you too. Hey, we're Pakistani, we're Indian, we need thousands of people there. You can't invite 20 people. You need everybody. So
well, if they're gonna pay, look. If her parents was gonna pay for all of that, because my parents wasn't gonna pay for it, then we can have whatever she wanted. But if we were going off from my little budget that I had, we about to go downtown. I didn't want no Christian, I didn't want this, but then they told me what the justice says. Sometimes he say in the name of God, sometimes they don't. But my point was to just go and get the marriage license so I can say I was legally married by the state, right? Now, my wife expressed to me that she would like to have a wedding. At the time that we were talking about getting married, we didn't have the money for it. So, do we want to get married? Do we want to wait until we got the money for it? We don't know when we're going to have the money for it. So, it could be next month. It could be 2 years from now, whatever. But again, I'm going back to the commitment. We were committed to be together and to be married. So, because that commitment came first, we went down to the justice and we got married. Now, because she did express to me that she wanted a wedding, later on in life, she was probably 15, 20 years.
15 years in.
15 years in, I gave her a wedding.
Hey.
Nikah. But with the whole after thing and all of that other stuff, But again,
he did not sell. He playing himself down again. Okay.
all I'm saying is,
we had a nikah. We had it here downstairs in our home. We had a lot of family members.
That's
decorated all that good stuff.
But we made it a whole weekend. So one night we had the nikah, had the whole family thing, had the whole spread, food and everything. But the next day, he rented out the whole skating rink. We had a private skate bar. He rented out the whole
rink. Just got everybody up out of there.
And
we had it to ourselves all night.
Skating party and everything like that. And then the next day we went out of town. So he made it like a whole weekend. Now that was when we could afford it.
That's right, because she wanted something at the beginning that I could not give her. Don't lose sight of that. Mm-hmm. If this is something that your spouse really wants, don't lose sight of that. I mean, eventually, inshallah, if Allah blesses y'all, you'll get to it. But again, if I was not able to give her that, we had the commitment of the marriage. Wow. So again, if without that commitment, we would have never got to that, her getting this wedding that she wanted.
Now, a lot of people are caught up in the pomp and circumstance, and I think social media has become a big part of that, because the proposal is huge,
the
and then the wedding is huge, and the pictures are huge, and then the first dance, and all of this type of stuff. I mean, social media has really played this out.
Social media is the worst thing to ever happen.
What they tell each other is don't. If that's what you want, that's what you want. How they put it?
If that's, don't settle.
Yeah, don't settle for nothing. Don't settle for nothing.
That's what, and like he was saying, if the parents are going to pay that, now we see that because the Indies, the Desis and stuff, they blow it up. That's like big in their culture. Yeah. Is to have these big weddings. Pakistanis, some of them do that too. It's big like that.
And if you ain't got to pay for it, brother, go for it.
Yeah, African Americans, sometimes we just bring that down.
Oh, African Americans, you come to me. Oh wait, what? Oh, boy, I'll decorate the basement for you. Come on.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Look, sorry.
We put you out in the backyard, the streets of light. You know what I'm saying? We good. We had
them horns going off.
Yeah, we'll pop some Hawaiian punch. We good. Or they make the punch with the 7-Up. All that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We just the Delis wouldn't go for that because if you want my family to pay for it, boy, we having a backyard barbecue.
And there's nothing wrong with simple celebrations. As long as you're committed to the marriage. Because if you look back, because I'm tracking people, y'all. Mm-hmm. If we look back 7 years, so we've known some people 7 years.
You with the CIA too?
7 years since we wrote this book, and I seen they weddings. They had some blood. The walimas,
some of them still in debt.
On point. Some of them ain't even married no more.
Wow.
Some of them not.
Some of them ain't married, but some of them in debt.
So did they work more on the wedding than they did the marriage?
Mm-hmm.
No, then they work more on that. And I think
commitment, people.
I think as Muslims that we have to go back to that because everything the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did, it was kind of it was simple. Yeah. It was simple. Even speaking about, Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, it's like saying she had one dress and she would wash it like every 3 days, something like that. Just something very simple, that she did. And I think we get away from the simplicity. And very simple weddings can be really nice, emotional, endearing, and have full meaning to it, more so than the pomp and circumstance. And I think we just need to get more back.
We got to get back to commitment again. Your relation, your marriage ain't gonna last because of all this big old wedding you had. Mm-hmm. It just don't work that way. If you ain't got the commitment to have all that big wedding,
and I ain't trying to talk
you just
about
have a big wedding with no commitment.
I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but there was somebody that was married when we wrote the book 7 years ago, and he's been married 2 other times since. So we're talking about 3 marriages in a 7-year period. Okay.
Wow. So he said, forget 3 decades. I'll just get 3 wives and.
yeah. But mind you, and I think that's the problem is he's trying to get more wives, and the other wife was just saying, not today. Not today. You ain't having this here. But I think even a bigger thing about this person that I'm talking about was who told us that our book would never appeal to Muslims because it was too general. It wasn't, based on
marriage is general
or stuff like that. That's this person.
You put too much on it.
You've been married 3 times in 7 years, and we still here, boo. Yeah. We still right here.
Mm-hmm. Why you calling people name out and stuff?
I'm just saying.
So, Now as we look at where our generation is, people getting married, alhamdulillah, we just were with a friend, they're getting married, we just say, hey, that's what's up. Like, it's good to see, we're seeing more people getting married, they get married over Zoom, and we're hoping that all of these people stay married for the long haul, and that you guys are the pinnacle, y'all the example that a lot of us will be able to look at, because there's not many marriages that we can say 30 years or 20 years, because we live in such a fast-paced culture. Yeah. How can people get a hold of you guys, your books, your games, the podcast? How can they get a hold of all of that so that they can start the journey towards, as you said, a journey towards 30 plus years of marriage?
Y'all better get a hold of us, because y'all gonna look up and y'all gonna be this age. Y'all gonna be right here where we at. So y'all better start this journey now.
Better hope you at least got 10, 15 years when you do get this age.
It wasn't long ago when we thought 30 was old. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, now we kicking it.
Oh, don't come at me with that 50 years of new old stuff.
We gonna be turning that corner, shortly.
Well, tell my back that 50 years of new old.
You guys can reach out to us across social media. We're at Rufus and Jenny. You guys can find us across social media. We're always posting stuff about marriage, during different videos, going live. We got some great lives coming up next week. You guys, we got like a...
How you selling stuff on this boy's show?
Plug away. Do it.
Okay. And our book is on Amazon, Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century, 13 Easy Tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. It's on Amazon. We have a workbook. We have our card game. It's on our web store at rufusandjenny.com. Any of our merchandise that you guys purchase, we love your feedback. We have an international tribe, and we love to hear what it has done for you.
I got a tribe?
It's worked for you.
Is they Zulu?
Yeah. People, I don't know. They might be Yoruba. I don't know. We got to do that. We got to trace
AfricanAncestry.com.
Yeah, we we love to hear what it's doing for you guys. We just found out recently that our card game has been used at sit downs, which I think is really, really cool.
Singles sit down.
Singles sit down.
Like, oh, did them questions help? Yeah. Man, I learned some stuff real quick. I got up out of there.
Yeah. And so, we want to know that we are helping you and that we are impacting your lives in any type of way. If you guys hop on our lives, holler at us, send us comments, all that good type of stuff. We love it. That's why we're here.
You don't have to holler. If you can talk softly, would be good.
If someone wants to come at you for a consultation, whether it's single people looking to get married or married people looking to stay married, how do they go about getting that service? Is that all on your website as well?
We are having a marriage class. Now, we don't have normally do this, guys. So if you guys want to come, you guys better get signed up, because we normally travel so much, but because of COVID, we normally do like 30 to 40 speaking gigs a year, and we're traveling and we're just so tired after, you planes, trains, and automobiles, and you're packing and unpacking and all the different type of stuff. We're not normally home like this, or even have the energy, once we are home. We just want to, decompress.
Always got energy.
Before we have to start it again.
I'm the Energizer Bunny.
September 25th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We are having a marriage class. Okay, marriage class. It's for single people and for couples. And the registration is live.
Because single people be asking all kind of crazy questions that they don't think apply to them just because they single. But if you're talking about getting married, it apply to you too.
Well, most single events we find end up spending time bashing the other sex. Brothers this.
You ain't gonna get married that way. You just gonna stay single.
Sisters this. But if you come into a marriage class, we give you more tools and tips of what you need to be looking for.
We give you the truth. You might log off real quick.
In your marriage. This is what we do. And we don't spend time, like bashing that. And that's pretty much what a lot of these singles events are. So I don't understand how you're helping someone to seek marriage or nurture marriage or different things like that when half the time you spend is bashing, the opposite sex. So that's how you guys can come to us. You can also find consultations out there at rufusandjenny.com. And we love to speak to you guys because y'all need to get it together. How are we going to have a next generations of 30, 40, 50-year marriages if y'all right here now in your 20s and you're not getting married? Yeah. You're not how are we going to get to that point? Who's going to be the next? Who got next? you know?
Well, if you come for counseling and you got a whole bunch of issues, can you bring me a counselor too? Because I'm going to need counseling at the counseling.
I'm going to need counseling for you.
Oh, man. Rufus, Jenny, thank you guys so much. We're so glad we could get y'all on because this is a topic that, again, we get the DMs, but we aren't the people to answer them. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that we can get you guys on and y'all can talk about it because we ain't married. We ain't married. And, you know, and so it's just like, you know, we respect that we got people that are married, that have been married, and inshallah, they're going to stay married, who can give us the skills and the tools to get to where they at.
Yes,
but we appreciate that, brother.
We appreciate you guys having us. It's always a pleasure. I'm looking for my phone. Always a pleasure.
Are we still talking to them young folk? Yeah. Well, look, y'all need to quit talking to people that ain't married. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times y'all young folk be talking to people they ain't even married themselves. Yes. What kind of advice you finna get from them? Mm-hmm. They look for somebody who been married over 20, 30 years, 40, 50 if you really want it. You know, them older folk, boy, hey, y'all watch out for them older folk, boy. They be telling y'all some stuff that you really don't want to know.
They don't want to know. 100%. We need to know. I think Jabril thinks about that time.
Yes, absolutely. So everybody, Muhammad, if we can stay on, don't go off yet. Muhammad, if people want to listen to the podcast on the go, where can they listen, my friend?
Absolutely, Jabril. Great question. We are available on all the major podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio. Look us up, the Young and Muslim Podcast. Please subscribe and also leave us a review. Yes. And Jabril, if they want to shoot us a DM and get a hold of us or watch us, our beautiful faces, how can they do that? Yes, if you guys want to get a hold of us, shoot us a DM and follow along on this Young and Muslim journey. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N, Muslim, Young and Muslim. Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to see these beautiful faces, all four of these, you can find us on YouTube at the Young and Muslim Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, all right. You got it. So, Muhammad, let's wrap it up, my friend. Go ahead, Jabril. So, for the last hour and a half, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabril Salam. And Muhammad Hassan. And this is for y'all now. This is...
I'm sorry.
Rufus and Jenny.
We're Rufus and Jenny Triplett.
Oh, we just tongue twisted up in here. This boy trying to give you a shout out.
He threw it to us and you missed it.
What kind of stuff is going on around here?
That's a curveball.
And I'm trying to tell you something.
He threw it and you missing it.
This I actually like it better when we don't prepare the guests for this part. This is the best part. Oh, man. Oh, and we greet you with the greens of peace. Asalaamu Alajum. Peace out, y'all.